What's up, guys? Okay, we've got two knives here, both from the Canadian line from Bark River. Both smaller type fixed blades. You can see they're very similar. They've both got the cutout spots for your fingers there, which I actually kind of like. I wasn't sure if I would, but I do. The Mini Canadian, this particular one's A2 with antique ivory micarta scales. I don't know if you can get the, you can probably see the micarta pattern there. Kind of looks like ivory, actually. If you didn't know, that's probably what you'd think it was. A2 blade, convex. Cuts real good. A little bit different. The scales actually end right behind the front finger location. Not really a choil, but you can choke up in the pinch grip like this. It feels pretty good. Even come up for real detailed work like that. And then the other one here is a Mikro Canadian. And the Mikro Canadian, it's actually a Mikro Canadian 2, I think it was called. It's got 154 cm steel, so it's a stainless. And this one's got burgundy canvas micarta with white liners. This knife actually is I can't remember which branch of the military helped design the Bravo 1, but this is actually the knife they carry with it. This sheath here can be piggybacked onto a Bravo 1, well, I should say any of the sharpshooter leather sheaths. I actually might do that, piggyback it onto the Bravo 1 leather sheath that I've got. Got a belt loop, obviously. It's a nice little sheath. They used to have a different one that came with these, but this is just their bushcraft, their smallest bushcraft style sheath. It gets the job done. They also have a Canadian Special, which is larger, and then a Canadian camp knife. They have kind of a spear point blade to a certain extent. It's a nice shape. You can see the pins here with a rather small lanyard hole. You can see how much bigger it is on the Mikro. Mikro spelled with a K for whatever reason. But when I first got into knives, I actually got into fixed blades first, and so I actually used to EDC a fixed blade for quite a while, and I got these closer to the beginning of my knife obsession, and they were, I bought them to be used as outdoor blades. But most people probably know, most knife people probably know, that the carrying a fixed blade for EDC is less than ideal, because of you can get so much more size in a folder. If we compare this as a Gale Bradley with the pocket clip, smaller than either of them, approximately the same size as the Mikro, but you open it up and shazam, you don't need a super tough knife for EDC. And I mean, the Gale Bradley is a perfect example. It's a tough knife, tough enough for most people's EDC. I would almost say anybody's. So that's when I started getting into folders more. These are still great knives for. Bumped the tripod. These are still both great knives for, you know, taking a small outdoor knife or something like that. But I don't EDC them anymore. The Canadian, the mini Canadian actually gets, you can probably tell, you can see it gets thicker near the butt of the handle, which is kind of strange. I'm not sure I'm pretty sure I'd like it better if they were more uniform in size. If I was going to carry one of these, which I have once in a while during the day, I would just throw the sheath in the pocket. You know, the sheath for the mini Canadian isn't ideal. It kind of sticks out at the top quite a bit, and when you're inserting it, it actually cuts the. Might be able to see where the sheath's been cut. We kind of gotta almost squeeze it until it gets past there. So having it on your belt or something, it also rides really high, as you can see. Having it on your belt and getting it in and out is pretty tough. The sheath could use some work, that's for sure. In a pocket or something like that, you know, it works good, but for belt carry, not so much. The Mikro is really good for that because you can, you know, you can even put this in your back pocket. This one doesn't really get thicker near the back end like the mini does. I mean, I guess it does a little bit, but it's nowhere near as noticeable. 3-finger grip on the Mikro, and on the mini you can do the 3-finger or the bump it up and get the 4-finger. You can get real close up on that cutting edge, and it's surprisingly comfortable in pretty decent use, designed this way. Compare the thickness on the two. You can see the Mikro has a pretty thick blade for its size, but the mini's definitely thicker. Very similar in the tip. Tough little knives. I don't think I'd get rid of either one of these. They both cut really good, like most Bark Rivers do. I really like Bark Rivers myself. The Mikro Canadian came, these corners right here were a little bit sharp, so I actually had to round those off. I actually may have had to do that to this one as well. But these finger grooves don't interfere with the reverse grip. Reverse grip's no problem on either one, and you can get a surprising amount of power with this little bugger. Again, burgundy micarta, canvas micarta with white liners on this one, and antique ivory micarta, linen micarta on this one. And I figured I'd throw that in there with the EDC thing. Gail Bradley, real quick. If you don't have one of these, get one. That's about it. I mean, the tolerances are amazing. The carbon fibers, very attractive. The M4 steel on the Gail Bradley holds an edge and is pretty easy to sharpen too. That was just as an aside. So yeah, the Mini and Micro Canadian, I could recommend either one. Very comfortably. And if you're in the market for a small fixed blade, I think they'd be a great option. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate you watching, and if you've got any questions, just comment down below, and we'll see you on the next one.